Hey everybody, and welcome to the Dragon Book Talk. Dragons have been outrageously popular in the past few years, but they've also been around for centuries. Almost every society has had some form of dragon or dragon-like creature in their lore. They're just pretty awesome creatures, and they're popular thanks to movies and TV shows like Merlin and books like Harry Potter. They're just really fascinating creatures. They fly, breathe fire, are beautiful, hoard gold. All sorts of awesome. So there are plenty of books that feature them. Some are old, some are new. All are equally fascinating and feature dragons in different and unique ways. We're just going to go over some of my favorites today, but there are so many of them out there. We'll start with the newest. It's called The Story of Owen, right here. The Dragon Slayer of Trondheim by E.K. Johnston. It's set in an alternate reality where dragons exist and feed off of fossil fuel sources like the smoke from factories, coal, anything that emits carbon. Even some of the smaller ones go after vehicles. So to combat dragons, dragon slayers are employed. And Owen, the main character, his family is a family of dragon slayers. His mother slays dragons, his dad, his aunt, everybody. However, his aunt did get hurt, and since his dad and mom are off slaying dragons, his aunt is in charge of raising him and training him in the ways of dragon slaying. So not only is Owen having to deal with being a dragon slayer, he's a high school student who has just come into a new school and he's the new thing because small town dragon slayer, pretty cool. Anyway, while he's there, he meets Siobhan. Siobhan is one of the first people to befriend Owen and ends up helping him in his classes, help tutoring him, and gives him a chance to have at least a little bit of a typical teenage life. However, Siobhan soon realizes that she's supposed to be Owen's bard. You know, bards are the people who generally wrote all these grand stories, songs, and poems about heroes, and I guess all dragon slayers need a bard. So Siobhan's kind of stuck with it. So Siobhan and Owen, while trying to go through high school and everything, along with some of their high school friends, discovered that the dragons have this huge plot, this huge event that's about to occur. That's why the dragon attacks have been increasing in the past few years. And like I said, it's going to be really, really big, and no one's really listening to them except for a few people. So all of them are trying to figure out the dragon's plans, trying to protect the towns, and train other people to how to protect themselves from dragons, all while trying to pass the latest history test. So The Story of Owen is an excellent book. I highly recommend it. Also, the author recently came out with a sequel to it called Prairie Fire, so that's worth a check out too. Another book I found is called Serephina by Rachel Hartman. I actually found this while just browsing my library shelves. The cover was pretty. I decided to try it. Pretty awesome book. Also a first in a series. Serephina is about a kingdom where dragons and humans interact. There's a portal that these draconians can go through, and for years and years and years there was a whole lot of fighting, war, everybody getting killed on both sides, and finally there was peace established between the draconians and the humans. So the draconians come through every so often. They're ambassadors to court. They usually only associate with royalty, and the cool thing about these dragons is they're not always dragons. They can be these huge, massive, awe-inspiring creatures, or they can shrink themselves down into human form to where you essentially can't tell the difference between them and human. Anyway, pretty cool storyline. This kingdom called Gored, most of the normal people, average everyday people, distrust dragons because they just don't believe that these creatures will keep their word. And there's a whole lot of laws that prevents interaction between the draconians and the normal people. Serephina is a teenage girl trying to live in this society, and she's trying to survive the best she can, but her father is forcing her to hide things like her ability to sing. She's not allowed to associate with certain family members, and she is just not allowed to be anywhere near dragons. And the thing is, she doesn't even know why she's supposed to hide it. She can sing. She loves to sing. Why can't she do it? So to make it even more stressful for this girl, she discovers a plot that will absolutely destroy this peace between the two kingdoms. And during this investigation where she's trying to help stop this plot, this overthrow, she discovers the painful truth about her mother, who she never met. and about herself. So check it out. Sequel should be coming soon. I believe either this year or next year. So it's highly worth the read. The next book is actually one that came out when I was a teen, and it was kind of followed the Harry Potter series. So like I said, his series books were really popular, and this one was the next big thing after Harry Potter. It's called Eragon by Christopher Paolini. It's the first in a 4-book series called The Inheritance Cycle, and dragons in this book are portrayed as very, very intelligent species capable of extremely high cognitive processes, and they also have magical powers in addition to allowing certain humans to ride them. They have the ability to bond with specific humans. So in the first book, there's a teen named Eragon who is part of a poor family. He is being raised by his aunt and uncle since his parents are dead. So Eragon, in order to support the family, hunts in this area called the Spine, which no one in town wants to go near. It's creepy, it's dark, it's like a mix of forest and mountains. It's just very mysterious and no one wants to go there. So one day while he's hunting, not having much luck, he discovers this stone, this really beautiful stone that looks like a sapphire, but he knows it's not. So since he didn't get anything, he decides to take the stone home with him and wait for the merchants to come in town, which would be in the next month or so. So until the merchants got there, Eragon's trying to figure out, what is this thing? He tinkers with it, sees if he can break it, and then one day while he's playing with it, it all of a sudden hatches, and out pops a dragon. And Eragon kind of freaks out because dragons are controlled by the king Galbatorix, and Galbatorix is actually an evil king who was once a dragon rider, overthrew the government and just caused havoc and oppressed the people, everything. No one really likes him. Eragon wants to figure out more about his dragon, so he decides to discreetly ask Braum, the town storyteller. The problem is Eragon's not very discreet, and people find out. Just word gets around, and the town is attacked. His family is attacked. His aunt and uncle die, and the only reason that Eragon is not dead is because of Braum, the town storyteller. And so Braum, Eragon, and Serephina, the dragon, flee. And on this journey, Braum manages to teach Eragon magic, dragon rider history, various survival skills, everything. And Eragon and Serephina are kind of curious because how does Braum know all this if the dragon riders are extinct? He knows their secrets, their magic, everything. I mean, how should he know this? Can they trust him? Also, Eragon keeps having dreams of this girl, and he knows she is somehow tied to his future, but he doesn't know why. And so basically, he and Serephina have to trust their instincts. They have to know, can they trust Braum? Can they trust the people they're headed to, the Varden, which is a rebel group? And most of all, who's this girl, and what's her purpose to Eragon? The final book is probably one of my favorite books of all time. My mom read it to me when I was little. I read it when I got older, and it's just a wonderful book. Most of you have probably heard of it. It's been made into movies. It's called The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And this fantasy novel is the prequel to the Lord of the Rings series, which were also made into movies, but are also exceptional books. So check them out after you read this one. The Hobbit, we're introduced to Bilbo Baggins, a respectable, well-to-do hobbit who does nothing exciting. He is not adventurous. He does not go out. He just stays at home and does exactly what is expected of him. And then one day Gandalf shows up and tries to get Bilbo to go on this adventure and says, it'll be good for you, come on. And Bilbo is like, nope, no, not me, good day. So Bilbo just kind of forgets about Gandalf's visits, going on about his life until a few days later, 12 dwarfs show up at his house, basically fall in the door, proceed to eat all his food, destroy his house, make a mess of it, and Bilbo has no clue why. Then Gandalf shows up, and he realizes what has happened. And apparently Bilbo is the only one who is not aware that he is the burglar on this quest to retake Erebor, the dwarves' ancient kingdom. At the end of the journey, in the kingdom of Erebor, awaits a dragon named Smaug. Smaug had run the elves out of their kingdom, destroyed everything, and now sleeps in this giant bed of gold. And the dwarves want their home back. So they go on this quest. Somehow Bilbo gets ropes into going on this quest. And it's not, as all quests, it's not safe. They encounter trolls. They encounter goblins. They encounter stone giants. They encounter shape changers. They encounter giant spiders, elves, humans, corrupt people, all sorts of things. And then they get to the dragon. And, of course, most of you know the story of the Lord of the Rings, but, Bilbo discovers this magic ring in the tunnel that turns him invisible. And it comes in handy when he's trying to save the dwarves' lives. He's able to draw off the spiders, help them get out of prison, helps him face the dragon. But after the dragon's defeated and after everything's said and done, the problems are just beginning. The dwarves have gone gold mad. All the people, the elves, the humans, the dwarves are at the brink of war. And then there's an orc army attacking. It's never ending. And Bilbo is trying to deal with all of this. I mean, what's a poor hobbit to do? He does the best he can, and it turns into a really great story. Highly recommend it. And then after you read it, you have something to follow it up with in The Lord of the Rings. So those are the books we're showcasing. There are tons and tons more. Also more TV shows, more movies. I mean, dragons are so popular, you will find them everywhere. If you liked Eragon, I would highly recommend Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern series. It's also about humans who ride dragons. It's set in about the same era. It's a really cool world. As I've also mentioned, Lord of the Rings is the perfect follow-up to The Hobbit. Also, any of J.R.R. Tolkien's books are fabulous. If you want to find more dragon books or even any other book, go check out your library, browse around, ask your librarian if you need any help. So, have a good day.